Tonight to give you a briefing on a law enforcement involved shooting that occurred this afternoon. And the message is very clear. Don't point your guns and shoot at law enforcement officers if you don't want to be shot. We shot back because he shot at us, and we shot at him a lot. Here's what occurred. Belonging to the HIDTA task force conducted a traffic stop on a known violent criminal felon, 32-year-old Francis Perry. Perry also has an active warrant outstanding for him right now as a fugitive from justice. When deputies stopped him from the HIDTA task force, and let me pause there to explain the HIDTA task force. In this particular group of the task force, we had a Haines City police officer, a Lake Wells police officer, a Winter Haven police officer, and a deputy sheriff. The police officers on this task force are also deputized by me and our deputy sheriffs. So they're working this person because we know he's a known violent felon. We know he deals in or possesses large amounts of drugs. So as we stop the vehicle, the windows are totally dark. We cannot see into the vehicle at all. The deputies immediately surround the vehicle and tell him, roll down the windows, roll down the windows. We are met with gunfire. He shoots out of the passenger side of the vehicle toward the HIDTA officers. At this time, the HIDTA officers return fire, and they shoot many times. When the threat is neutralized, they immediately drug Francis Perry from the driver's seat of the vehicle, he was the only one in the vehicle, onto the ground and began to do CPR and call for emergency services. He has now been transported to an area hospital where he's being treated at this hour. It's important to understand that this started out as a traffic stop of a violent person. It's important for you to understand that there will be several independent investigations. Our homicide unit will conduct a shooting investigation. Our administrative investigations will conduct a separate internal investigation to determine compliance with agency policy. The state attorney's office was immediately called, and they have representatives on the scene, and they will conduct their independent investigation. HIDTA members will continue with their criminal investigation into the trafficking amount of drugs. That's the 4 investigations tonight. At the completion of those investigations, we will turn our findings over to the separate police departments where they will do their investigations according to their policy. But I think it's important for you to understand this violent criminal who shot at our HIDTA task force members tonight. It's important for you to hear and understand what kind of person law enforcement officers deal with every day. He's already been charged with attempted second-degree murder, resisting arrest, fleeing to elude, impersonating a law enforcement officer, unlawful possession of a handcuff key, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, giving false information to a law enforcement officer during an investigation, possession of meth, possession of marijuana, possession of controlled substance, driving while license suspended, vehicle theft, and burglary. In 2014, he was sentenced to 1.5 years for meth possession, and he pled down the attempted murder to an aggravated assault. He has only been out of prison since March of this year, and he's already a fugitive from justice on those charges that he pled to, and he's already shot at law enforcement officers this evening. I want to show you a picture of our suspect who shot at and tried to kill our deputy and officers tonight. The message is clear. We respect life. We expect the community to respect us back, and the overwhelming do. But when they shoot at us, we will absolutely shoot back. That's a guarantee. Before we have any questions, I want to turn the microphone over to the chiefs. We'll start with Chief Byrd from the Winter Haven Police Department. Chief?
Thank you, Sheriff. I want to put a human face on this. These officers have families to go home to, and tonight they were faced with a very dangerous situation and had to make a decision to defend themselves. And like the sheriff said, we're not going to apologize whenever someone pulls a gun on us and fires at us. I'm thankful to God that every one of those officers and that deputy that were involved in this were not hurt. We're very fortunate that we're not out here talking about an officer that's been shot.
Thank God.
So to say again, I want to say, and springboard off what the sheriff said, we will not apologize for defending ourselves. Thank you.
Chief Velasquez.
We're very thankful tonight that those officers are going to be able to go home to their families. There are officers out there every day. They're out there right now risking their lives, doing what they do. And this guy, this suspect, was just simply doing what he did. He was just being a criminal, an ongoing career criminal. We're very, very fortunate that our folks are going to go home tonight. We thank you for the support. And again, I think this is a good example of how training and teamwork played together. These men work together every day as a task force. They go after the worst of the worst, and tonight they came across them, and thank God they're going home. Thank you.
Chief Hopwood.
I want to reiterate also what Chief Byrd, Chief Velasquez, and Sheriff Judd has already said, is that our officers and deputies are very fortunate to go home tonight to their families, and that law enforcement in Polk County will not take being shot at, and we will defend ourselves and all law enforcement officers in our county.
Are there any questions tonight?
What was the original reason you guys wanted to pull him over? What was the background on that?
He is a violent felon.
You just knew very well.
We knew that he was a violent felon. He was also a fugitive from justice. And we knew that he was supposed to have in his possession or be dealing with dope. We didn't know how much dope. We didn't know what kind of dope. We just knew he was a real bad guy in the community, and there was outstanding warrants for his arrest ultimately.
And Sheriff, where did this all happen? Because we see bullet holes in cars here.
Yeah.
Did it happen close to here?
It happened right there.
Okay.
And what we're going to do in just a minute, we're going to allow you all to go up there so you can get some close-up shots. And here's what I want you to do for me. The white vehicle that you're going to see is an undercover vehicle. Shoot around that, if you will, so that we don't release that publicly. But we're going to walk you up close enough that you can see the scene closer.
Does he live here?
No, he doesn't.
How far down the road was he when he initially stopped in the traffic stop there?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
No.
He drove here and then pulled in, I guess.
He pulled in here. They lit him up. He pulled in here. As the officers and the deputy walked up to the car, he started shooting. And when he started shooting, we started shooting.
It was instantaneous as soon as he
Absolutely.
He tried to get out of the
We were, no, he didn't. We were giving him direction. The windows were blacked out. We could not see into the vehicle at all.
Any idea how many times he may have been hit?
Not yet. We'll release all that tomorrow. We will meet with you again tomorrow with further details. We'll release the officers and the deputy's name tomorrow. We want to allow the officers and the deputy the opportunity to speak with their family and to calm down and to work with all the different investigations that's going on tonight, and we will clearly identify who they are. Now, they're working undercover task force. We're going to release their names. There won't be photographs.
When he started shooting, how close were these deputies to the car? How
They were right up at the car when the shot started. We are working to reconstruct the exact place they were standing, but we know they were right up at the car. And from at least appearances tonight, and this is an appearance without knowing exactly where the officers were standing, I don't know how he missed them.
2 law enforcement officers opened fire, a deputy and an officer?
4.
4 total.
Any other questions? We will give more details tomorrow. We've given you quite a few details that we have been able to confirm. We're also told that he, by his own admission to 2 separate law enforcement agencies, said he was a member of the white supremacist movement. That's his statements, not ours. As I was walking out of the mobile command center, one of my detectives said, "It looks like we got to verify this. He may have up to 100 pages of rap sheet. We'll know for sure and release that tomorrow." Okay? If y'all will, we want you to come up and please shoot around the white car. That's of no consequence. There's no bullet holes or anything.